Hey, physics students, Mr. Clausen here. It is early Tuesday morning, and I'm getting this out to you, so hopefully it'll help you out. Yeah, so let's take a look at what you should do this second week of the course, or maybe it's the first time you gotten logged in for the course, because there was that soft opening as we go. But anyway, there are two activities I'd like you to take care of this week. If you've already done week one, if you haven't done week one, then do week one first, and then come back and do these ones. I don't think they'll take too terribly long. Your activities and to-do list is going to look different than mine depending on where you are at. But let's look at the activities you need to get done here for this second week. So the first ones we have here is called graphs and equations. We're going to talk about the different ways to graph relationships in our physics class, and we'll get the graphing software installed for you. The other one here is this measurement lesson where we talk about different types of units, and then you're going to have our very first discussion post. You're going to have measurement discussion, and then you'll take a picture of it and submit it to this right here. So that's what I want you to do this week. Let's just run through this so I can give you a heads up as to what it might look like. So there's going to be three main types of graphs that they want you to take a look at. I'd like you to put your notes here. What else I got to tell you? You could do some sample ones there. By hand, you wouldn't necessarily have to put them in your notebook. Just make sure you get the notes on the three types of relationships. After that, it's going to ask you to install the graphical analysis software. I've included a link right here to the download, so you can follow that. And if you're having trouble installing it, here's me doing it. And I talked to the camera because I got really bored trying to install it. The one thing that we will see is in the slideshow, the tutorial they show you is for an old version of the software. So I created a video where I go over it. And then what I'd like you to do is do the three practice problems. And yeah, there's no need to do the review questions because they really are just what the learning check is. So as long as you do the practice problems, you can skip the review and take a look. So right here, I would truly recommend, so here's the first slide. What I really recommend you do is that you actually do try to graph this just to see how well you did. You can literally just click right here and it tells you the answer, but the goal is to practice to see how you're doing. So there's three of them. Just sketch them out real quick on a piece of paper and then check your answers. Like I said, you wouldn't necessarily have to put that in your notebook if you didn't want to. Let me move this just a smidge. If you go to the second slide, I believe that's where you start to actually get some more notes. So they got the linear relationship, the quadratic, and then finally the last one at the bottom, I think is called inverse. This is where we install the graphing program. You can follow the links that I said up there, and we'll do all these steps. It's just it doesn't look like this anymore when we use graphical analysis. The last one is some follow-up practice questions. Totally try and do those, answer these questions to the best of your ability, but you can skip this part right here that says review questions because they're the same ones you're going to get when you answer the, what's it called here? The learning check. Okay, so when you go to the learning check, it'll be the standard, like I think it was like 10 questions, 7 questions maybe on what to do. The next one you're going to do is you're just going to become familiar with, okay, so I should back up. That was 1.03. Now you're going to start with 1.04, which is on measurement. And then what you're turning in for this is an answer to this question on a discussion post, which is why should we use units for our numbers? Why are numbers so important? Explain the number or importance of units by sharing an example of a situation where it could go wrong because there were no units. So you're going to have to post that. Everybody in the class is going to be able to see your answer. That's the goal. So realize everybody's going to see it. And then you're going to need to respond to at least one other person and explain why you disagree or agree with their comment. And I should mention, if you're the first person in there, there'll be nobody to respond to you. So you'll have to maybe come back a day later to do that. All right. But if you look at it, excuse me. I'd recommend you start here by doing the practice questions, then going up to read the information to help you answer those questions, as opposed to just randomly clicking on these links. Because this one I think is just a chart. Yeah, so it's just a bunch of chart. So it's not as helpful to you if you're just like, oh, I'm going to read this and get information. It's better if you try and read these sample questions, practice questions to help you out. Okay. The next one, I think, talks about how to review or how to measure something with a metric ruler. So just get a ruler and measure something. It says you need a 3x5 card, but if you don't have a 3x5 card, you could just use the trackpad on your laptop and that would work fine. You can review significant figures. I put another YouTube link in on that one as well. And then read through this because it's all about measuring. And then that's going to lead you to the final one, which is the discussion post, which is right here. So you will do that. And to post to the discussion board, it's on this one right here. So you will hit new thread. You'll type in your answer and put it in. When that's all done, then to get points, you take a picture of your comments and your response, and you turn it in, and I can add grades to it. So if you have any questions on this part, I'll help you out. So that's it for the week. It should be pretty quick, I think, for you. The first one here on graphs and equations, just read through and take the notes. The next one is just come up with an opinion about why units are important. There's nothing that says you couldn't Google the interwebs for more information on that. And then you're going to post, and we're going to have our first discussion board posting. So you're going to post, and then somebody's going to respond to you, and you're going to pick somebody else to respond to, and we'll have that going on. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.